I once worked with a guy who made $400,000 a year and was broke. Genuinely broke. Overdraft fee can't cover rent this month broke. And around the same time, I knew an intern making $45,000 a year who was already on track to retire by 45. Same city, same cost of living, wildly different outcomes. Today I want to explain why salary, the number everyone obsesses over, is actually one of the worst predictors of whether you'll build real wealth. And I'll show you the number that actually matters instead. The banker's confession. So, little context. I spent a few years in investment banking, and if there's one thing that environment teaches you, it's that a big paycheck does not automatically translate into financial security. I watched analysts and associates go from a 5-figure starting salary to 6 figures almost overnight once bonuses hit. And almost every single time, the lifestyle followed the income up the elevator just as fast. New apartment in a better building. New watch because you've earned it. Dinners that used to be a treat became a Tuesday night default. None of these decisions looked irrational in isolation. But stacked together, they meant that someone earning 4 times the national average income was still living paycheck to paycheck, just a much more expensive paycheck. This has a name in personal finance: lifestyle creep. It's the slow, almost invisible process where your spending rises in lockstep with your income. So your savings rate, the actual engine of wealth, never improves no matter how many raises you get. The math nobody shows you. Here's where it gets interesting and where I want you to actually picture two people. Person A earns $200,000 a year and saves 5% of it. Person B earns $70,000 a year and saves 25% of it. On the surface, Person A looks like they're winning. They make almost 3 times as much. But let's run the actual numbers. Person A is saving $10,000 a year. Person B is saving $17,500 a year. Person B, the one earning less than a third of Person A's salary, is already putting away more money every single year. Now stretch that out over 20 years. Assume a modest 7% average annual return, which is roughly in line with long-term market averages. Person ends up with somewhere around $400,000. Person B ends up with around $700,000. The lower earner finishes with nearly double the wealth of the higher earner, purely because of the gap in savings rate. This is the part most get-rich content skips over because earn more is a much sexier headline than spend less of what you already earn. But the math doesn't care which one sounds better on a thumbnail. Savings rate, applied consistently over time, beats income almost every time. Why this happens psychologically. So why does this trap catch so many smart, high-earning people? A big part of it comes down to something behavioral economists call anchoring. The moment your income changes, your brain almost immediately resets its sense of normal spending to match the new number, not the old budget you used to live on happily. You don't consciously decide, I will now spend more. It just starts feeling normal to order delivery instead of cooking, to upgrade instead of repair, to say yes instead of no. And it's accelerated by who's around you. If your new income puts you around colleagues or friends spending at that level, social comparison does the rest of the work. Nobody wants to be the only person in the friend group still driving the old car or skipping the team trip. The result is that income and lifestyle rise together so smoothly that most people never actually notice the gap between what they earn and what they keep until they look at their savings account and wonder where 5 years went. The fix. So how do you actually break this cycle without becoming the person who refuses to ever enjoy their money? I want to give you one rule that's simple enough to actually stick. It's called the 50% raise rule. Every time your income goes up, whether that's a raise, a bonus, a new job, a side hustle kicking in, you let your lifestyle absorb only 50% of that increase. The other 50% gets automatically redirected into savings or investments before you ever see it in your checking account. So if you get a $10,000 raise, $5,000 can go toward upgrading your life however you want. More travel, a nicer apartment, whatever matters to you. But the other $5,000 goes straight into your future, automatically, the same day it lands. This works because it removes willpower from the equation. You're never relying on your future self to make the disciplined choice in the moment. The system makes it for you. The automatic part matters more than people think. Set up the transfer to happen on payday, not at the end of the month after spending has already happened. Money that you never see in your spending account is money you'll never miss. Close. So let's recap. Salary is the headline number, but it's not the number that determines your financial future. Savings rate is. A modest income with a high savings rate will outperform a huge income with a low one every single time, given enough years to compound. Lifestyle creep isn't a character flaw. It's a predictable psychological pattern, and the fix is to build a system that protects your savings rate automatically whenever your income changes. If this shifted how you think about your next raise, let me know in the comments. Drop your current savings rate. No judgment. I just want to see where everyone's starting from. And if you want to understand the other half of this story, why some people who earn modest incomes end up staying wealthy for decades while high earners burn out broke, that's exactly what next video is about. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you there.